Empress Jothara had ruled the Vorath Dominion for 3 centuries, and in that time, she had never been deceived. Her empire stretched across 40 star systems, maintained by the largest fleet in known space, 50 supercarriers, each capable of deploying 10,000 fighter craft and carrying enough firepower to reduce planets to ash. Humanity had been observed for decades. A young species, barely unified, with only 12 visible carriers protecting their home system. The Vorath Intelligence Network had counted every ship, monitored every shipyard, tracked every resource allocation. Earth was ripe for integration into the Dominion. The Empress stood before the Grand Assembly, her scales shimmering with anticipation. "We offer humanity a choice," she announced, her voice resonating through the chamber. "Submit to Vorath protection and pay tribute, or face our armada. They have 1 week to decide." The human ambassador, Director Chen Wei, responded with unexpected calm. "We appreciate the offer, Your Majesty, but we must respectfully decline both options." Laughter rippled through the assembly. Jothara's crest flared crimson with amusement. "You have 12 carriers against our 50. Your bravery is admirable but foolish." Chen Wei smiled. "Actually, Your Majesty, we have more than 12. The Empress dismissed the comment with a wave. "Our intelligence is absolute. We've monitored your system for 40 years. "You've monitored what we wanted you to see," Chen Wei replied quietly. 7 days later, the Vorath Armada arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system. All 50 supercarriers, supported by 300 cruisers and 2,000 support vessels. The largest military force ever assembled by the Dominion. Fleet Commander Korvax reviewed the tactical display with satisfaction. 12 human carriers had formed a defensive line near Mars. Predictable. Pathetic. Then the sensors began screaming. Quantum signatures erupted across the solar system as humanity dropped their camouflage. Not 12 carriers emerged from hiding, but hundreds. They appeared from behind asteroids, from orbital positions masked by clever technology, from the dark side of every moon and planet. The manufacturing facilities humanity had built in the asteroid belt, disguised as mining operations, had been producing warships for 6 decades. Korvax watched his tactical display transform from green superiority to red threat assessment as the count climbed: 500 carriers, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. 2,000 supercarriers, each matching or exceeding Vorath specifications, surrounded the invasion fleet in a perfect sphere. Humanity had built an armada 4 times larger than the galaxy's greatest military power, and they'd done it in secret. The communication channel crackled. Fleet Commander Korvax, Admiral Chen Wei, apparently the ambassador's sister, spoke calmly. "You are surrounded. Power down your weapons and prepare to receive boarding parties. Resist, and we will consider it an act of continued aggression." On the Vorath homeworld, Empress Jothara shattered her throne's armrest as she watched the transmission. "Impossible," she shrieked, her carefully maintained composure evaporating. "Our intelligence networks are flawless. How did they hide an entire fleet?" Her chief advisor trembled. "Your Majesty, preliminary analysis suggests they used abandoned stations, hollow asteroids, even ice formations as construction facilities. They moved everything through civilian traffic patterns. We were watching their military shipyards while they built an empire in the shadows." 3 centuries, Jothara hissed, her scales darkening to near black with rage. 3 centuries of Vorath dominance, ended by primitives who learned to lie before they learned to reach the stars. The truth was more complex than deception alone. Humanity had studied every empire in the galaxy and learned a critical lesson: everyone underestimated them. So they'd built their civilization on 2 levels, one visible and seemingly vulnerable, another hidden and overwhelming. They'd turned underestimation into strategy, patience into power. Admiral Chen Wei's message to the Vorath fleet was broadcast across every channel: "We didn't want this confrontation. But we learned long ago that strength is the only language some understand." You came to subjugate us. Instead, you've shown the galaxy that humanity will never kneel. The Vorath Armada surrendered without firing a shot. Empress Jothara would spend her remaining years explaining to the Galactic Council how an empire could be outmaneuvered so completely by a species they'd considered inferior. But the answer was simple: humanity had done what they did best, adapted, planned, and refused to be victims of anyone's expectations. The age of Vorath dominance was over. The age of humanity had begun.